I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. I want to talk about real estate. This is the second video I'm doing in a few days concerning real estate. In the last video, you can check out for it. I talked about why you need to invest in real estate. I want to look at real estate transactions in the Bible. I'm going to take my bearing from Genesis chapter 23. Sarah had died at the age of 127 at Kiryat Arba, a suburb, the community in Hebron. Abraham wept over Sarah. But the time came, got up from beside Sarah. There were things that needed to be done. Sarah needed to be buried. There was a vision that needed to be fulfilled. That is ownership and dominion of that land that God had promised him. There was a prophecy to be fulfilled. Abraham did not play the victim mentality of crying and crying. And then when he asked for a place to bury his wife, he said, sell to me a portion of your land at the rear end so that I can bury my wife. And Ephraim, the Hittite, the descendant of Heth, said that, oh, what is land? A burial place between you and I. Take it freely and bury. Abraham was a wise man. He knows that two friends can be friends, but their grandchildren and great-grandchildren might not be friends. So Abraham said, sell me the land. I will pay you, mention your price. And then one of the games in real estate transaction came into play. Ephraim, the Hittite, knew the emotional state of Abraham. He knew the urgency of the need to bury Sarah. He knew the fact that Abraham had no alternative. Then he hiked up the price. He said it was 4.5 kilograms of silver by today's measurements. Abraham counted the 4.5 kilograms of silver according to the black market rate. According to the black market rate that fluctuated. He followed the terms of Ephraim. In real estate, there is a time you negotiate to a point and then you purchase if you know the long-term profits you will make. If not, you might lose that opportunity. And so, Abraham counted 4.5 kilograms of silver. That's about more than $7,000 by the current price of silver. When you say Abraham's blessings are mine, do you have wealth? How did Abraham make wealth? Abraham was able to count more than $7,000 from where he was sitting. That is a man blessed of God. And we must aspire without being desperate, without being competitive and criminally minded, to live an enriched life, legitimately wealthy life. By God will bless you to do it. Don't just type amen. I will teach you how to create wealth. Now, Abraham counted out the money in the presence of the elders of the community. I'm going to do a video based on a recent judgment on real estate. You must trace the history of the land and make sure that whoever is selling has the right to sell, because you can't sell what you don't own. That's the subject of another day. And so, Abraham counted out the money in the presence of witnesses, amounting to $7,000 and above. Abraham knew the laws of the land. Don't be ignorant, if not you can lose all that you have labored for. For example, you are a woman, you buy land with your husband. You now say, Dr. and Mrs. Apoki. If Dr. Apoki dies, you might not have a right, or you divorce from Dr. Apoki, you might not have a right to that property. As I'm doing this video, my lawyer is looking at me. Because he taught me. Because any person can become Mrs. Apoki. So it has to be Dr. Charles Apoki and Mrs. Felicia Apoki. It's specific. And so Abraham knew the laws. Abraham knew that if he bought the whole property, he would be in charge of the taxes and responsibilities of that land. So, but if he bought a portion, according to Hittite laws, he will not be responsible for the taxes and any other statutory obligation. And so he bought a portion. Now, he knew the laws, and he did the land. He knew the eternal value of that land, because he needed that land to actualize the fulfillment of the promise of God on his life. He needed a place to stand to push the wall. The reason no person can push the wall is that there is no place to stand to push the wall. If not, the wall is just revolving. And so, for you to actualize prophecies, visions, and dreams, even if they are prophesied to you, you need a platform, you need a place, you need people, you need performance to push that prophecy to come to pass. That's why most people have heard so much said concerning them, but they don't do anything. I'm not saying you should behave like Sarah that put Hagar to Abraham. Even when God told Abraham he will conceive, Sarah will conceive, at that old age, he needed to sleep with Sarah, but not a difficult, an easy exercise. So he bought the land. Now, that land today, the mosque is built on top of that land that Abraham bought. The mosque of Abraham. And the tomb of Abraham is also there. It's a tourist attraction. The land was deeded to Abraham. He had documentation. And the documentation was very detailed. The land, the cave, and the trees bearing. Abraham did not just assume that he who owns land owns whatever is there. It's on the land. He detailed it. Because proper documentation prevents prolonged argumentation. Today, as I said, the mosque of Abraham is there. The tomb of Abraham is there. It's a tourist attraction to both Jews, Christians, and Muslims. And it generates revenue. It has increased in value. Today, Hebron is the largest city in the West Bank. It has 200,000 inhabitants. And it controls 1/3 of the commerce of the West Bank. Now, imagine the value of that land. Let's reason. $7,000 there. How many $1,000 do you think a portion of land in Hebron would be now? How many $1,000 are collected every day from tourists? No matter where you buy land. Somebody said that land will only appreciate depending on the location. I agree with you, but that's only one factor. Another factor is that land will increase with time in value. Reverend Adeboye went and did a crusade somewhere in Lekki in 1990. After the crusade, people started buying land in that area. Most probably they opened the church there. And the prices of properties went up. This area was far away. Jaconde did a road to that area years back. That area was very far away. See the prices of land today in Lekki. There's a place called Ujewu where the railway line from Delta State reaches Ajaokuta. Ujewu was a small village. No person went there. But the Delta Steel Company came there and prices of land went up around that area. And then the railway line to carry materials from Delta Steel Company to Ajaokuta back and forth landed in Jehu, prices of real estate went up. I was to buy a land somewhere in after Outu Jeremy, and I sent my manager there to look at the land. Oh, he said the place is so far away from, and your clients would not like to buy there. And I listened to him. But a few months later, I saw a post on YouTube that a news item online that a modular refinery will be sited in that place very soon. And clearing work started, and prices of real estate went up. There's a place I wanted to buy land, and I looked at it. This place could be waterlogged. I don't need this place. I rejected it, and they gave me another land. After about 3 weeks, I heard that a modular refinery was going to be sited opposite where I rejected. Orarope stayed there like that for a long while, and then Elder Sheriff Oborewori, the governor of Delta State, took a campus of Delta State University, Southern Delta University, to Orarope. Prices are going up there in Orarope. So a government policy, the location of a government institution, one factory, refinery, whatever, can drastically increase the prices of land. I was listening to a real estate lecturer from Central Africa. He said that he bought a large portion of land in a remote place. Then suddenly, a business passed through that area, and the value of his land went up. When you don't have enough capital, start from the peripheral. Farm on the land. Do something on the land. As you harvest from the land, you are reducing the value of the price of the land and increasing your profitability when you need to sell. So that is the story of Abraham from the Bible and the real estate lecture. I have these t-shirts, branded t-shirts. This one is "Don't look at me like that." I have the one of "Nayu Sabi." I have the one of "Bust You." Don't let your erection give you direction. If you motivate an idiot, it becomes a dangerous idiot. Several t-shirts. You can place an order, we will produce for you, and then we will send to you. I have properties for sale. Our properties are very genuine. Today, somebody from the UK, my lawyer, sent her documents to her. She sent me a message that she has received them. I presented documents to somebody at the park near Buckingham Palace who bought without knowing me. And people are buying from all over the world: Brazil, South Africa, China, Japan, India, all over the world. We're opening a totally new city. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. We have a webinar coming up later this month. Also send a message to that number, and we have books and counseling sessions. +234 80 21 21 92 62. Don't wait to buy land. Buy land and wait. I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki.